Final home game of the season, Nottingham Forest, and it has a bit of a special meaning to it, with it being Casemiro's last game at home for Manchester United. That certainly will be quite a sad moment, whether he starts the game, whether he comes on from the bench. Either way, he's going to be getting a lap of honor. He's definitely going to be soaking up the atmosphere because it will be his final game at Old Trafford. Now, that aside, there is still a Premier League game, a match that needs to be played. And Nottingham Forest, with their new manager, Vito Pereira, who we know from his time at Wolves, certainly do still have business to attend to at the bottom of the table. They are 16th, but they would like to secure their place in the Premier League for next season. They are still somewhat in a relegation battle. I know that Spurs and West Ham are fighting for that last place to be safe in 17th, but Nottingham Forest can still slip into that particular position if they end up losing their last two games and could still get relegated. So they do have motivation, they do have something to play for in this game. For Michael Carrick, there could potentially be, by the time we play the game on Sunday, there certainly will be a bit of more information in terms of him being the permanent manager, because as the reports do go out via Sally Talks, Laurie Whitwell, etc., spoke about it, it has been said that he's going to be offered a 2 year deal with an option to extend with a year, and he has been involved in recruitment meetings, this being Michael Carrick. So it looks like he's going to be getting the permanent manager's job for Manchester United, and he'll be appointed the head coach, which is what Ineos basically want to have as the front man for Manchester United. So that looks the way that we are moving into. However, if that does get announced before the game, there certainly will be much more to play for, because now certain players' positions within the team will be at stake, because once he is confirmed officially to be the head coach, then there are players who already probably know that they're going to be out of the door. And Michael Carrick, being involved in the recruitment meetings, will of course have a say in who's going to stay, who needs to leave, and what players need to come in order to strengthen the squad. Because next season we're going to be in four competitions, and the current squad that we have is not strong enough to compete, or at least do well in these competitions in one season. We played only 40 games this season. It will be 40 games by the time we finish the season after Brighton. But next season we could be playing 50, 60 games depending on how the season goes. And we've seen with games in quick succession this season already how the team struggles to adapt, how we cannot keep up with playing at the same intensity with games that come quick and in succession between each other. But nevertheless, this game does give Michael Carrick the opportunity again to look at the team, make certain changes. But I would, in my opinion, I would have go. You would have go to a strong team, a team that certainly can look to get the game done, sort it out before the end of halftime, and in the second half, play a few youngsters. They had a bit of disappointment in the FA Youth Cup final, losing 2-1 to City's youngsters, and there were players in there, the likes of Cheeto, etc., that perhaps in the game against Nottingham Forest can get an opportunity. Xerxes shouldn't be playing, so put the likes of Cheeto on in the second half, especially if Sesko is not available. Then perhaps you maybe go with Mbumo or Cunha up front, and thus have Cheeto Obi on the bench. Same can be said for Shea Lacey, the Fletcher twins, of course Jack Morehouse, etc. These players can be given the opportunity at Old Trafford if the game state does allow. Now for Michael Carrick, I do think that the team that he should go with should be this. Lomans in goal, Dallo, bring Euro in for the simple reason that he has, of course, more pace than Maguire. Yes, Maguire has played. Yes, his aerial dominance is there. But against Nottingham Forest, I want us to be on the front foot. Let's play with a higher line. So Martinez and Euro as the centre backs to allow us to push up higher, press them and keep them in their defensive third. And of course, Shaw at left back, Casemiro, Maino and Bruno as the midfield three. If Sesko is available, start him. If he's not available, then you can either play Mbumo or Cunha up front and have Ahmad on the right hand side, or if you choose to have Cunha up front, you can still start Mbumo. Dogu should start on the left-hand side for me in this game because we need that width, we need that dual winning ability and that aggression on the wing. So Dogu should start on the left-hand side. So that does give Michael Carrick a few options, but that's who I would go with. One, if Sesko's fit, it's Dogu and Mbumo on the left-hand side and the right-hand side respectively. If Sesko's not fit, Mbumo up front, then you can play Ahmad, or of course Dogu on the left hand side. So options for Michael Carrick in terms of the attacking side for United. We must win. I want us to win. I don't want our last game at home for the season to be a draw or to fade out and then we end up losing. I want it to be a joyous occasion. It's going to be emotional, of course, Casemiro's farewell, but I want us to win, not just for him, not just for Michael Carrick, but to end the season off on a positive note. To have that final game at Old Trafford being a win, so that when we do return to Old Trafford next season, we know that the most previous game that we played at Old Trafford last season ended in a win. And we should be able to win this Nottingham Forest team because they aren't the best. Yes, they have good moments. Yes, they certainly are in a European final. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the Conference League final that they are in. So that in itself does give them the opportunity in order to do well. So I would expect us to do something. Bruno's record in the assists is still on the line. So there's that as well that can be played for. And I'm sure Bruno will want to break the record, not just equal it with him being on 19. So many things to play for, but a game that ultimately will be overshadowed with it being Casemiro's final home game. And hopefully we get that official announcement of Michael Carrick being the permanent head coach for Manchester United for the next 2 years, at least as per the contract that has been said. But you let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on Michael Carrick, Man United, and of course the game against Nottingham Forest. Let's see where we are after that particular game in terms of what news has been spread from the club officially. Have a wonderful weekend till we see each other again in the next one. Bye-bye, Red Devils. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.